Where's Dr. Z? Dr. Z!
Oh, yeah. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to tonight's special episode of Dr. Jac'Z. Today we're having a look at our country's expansion out into the international frontier. Opinions vary wherever you go. Are we doing God's work or are we destroying cultures? On tonight's episode, we plan to answer that question. As Americans, it's our nature to want to expand. Countries on the international frontier are great for economic opportunity, such as trading with China or Europe. And if you're a pious person, these not-so-civilized tribes are ripe for the picking when it comes to spreading religious beliefs. On top of that, it's survival of the fittest out there. What prevents a big empire like Spain from taking over those small countries? It's best if they're on our care, right? Sounds great, right? Wrong. Imagine for a second you were the leader of a large nation, and on a trade route you stumbled across a smaller nation, under the corrupt rule of some tyrannical dictator. Would you join the sides of the rebels to overthrow this dictator? And if you did, would you install your own government? These are the questions that were going through American politicians' heads during this period. And that's what we did. Take a look at Cuba, for instance. Ever hear of the USS Maine?
I'm the USS Maine. And I'm Spain, the local bully.
This story is unavoidable nowadays. We attempt to help Cuba in their liberation from Spain, and in retaliation the Spaniards blow up the USS Maine that was stationed in Havana Harbor, Cuba. This direct attack on American forces killed hundreds. This is an act of war, right? Wrong. In 1898, it was speculated that the Maine explosion was caused by an external mine, the supposed attack by Spain. With further investigation, it's now widely accepted that the explosion was not a mine, rather an internal explosion within coal storages on board. However, due to the exaggerations of the press, most Americans strongly believe that Spain was the underlying cause. This is called yellow journalism, a tactic used by Joseph Pulitzer and William Hearst. We asked a random pedestrian on the street his opinion on the subject matter. See him back there? That's the one.
Yeah, I gotcha. Alright, let's roll. Grab the mic.
Sir. Sir. Hello. Hey, whoa, hey, excuse me. Whoa.
What's your name? What's your name?
My name's Don. Call me Don for short.
Okay, Don. What's your opinion on Spain and the USS Maine?
My opinion on Spain and the USS Maine.
Don't grab.
I'll tell you what. You remember the USS Maine? The hell with Spain, man. Those foreigners think they're gonna come here and bomb our people and kill them? I'll tell you what. We're taking Cuba. I'll tell you that much. Bada bing, bada boom. We're gonna have a war.
Forget about it.
Prime example of yellow journalism. The story was obviously exaggerated, made Spain into this horrible empire hell-bent on destroying our interests.
My brother Vinny was on that boat, man.
Sir, excuse me? Just 1 minute, please.
Do you remember the USS Maine?
Obviously, I'm reporting on it.
The hell with Spain.
Let's recap for a moment. We were interested in Cuba because it provided us access to the Gulf of Mexico. Cuba was under Spanish control at the time, and obviously didn't like us getting involved in their affairs. So, in retaliation to our occupation, Spain retaliated by blowing up the USS Maine. Blowing up. Obviously, it wasn't really Spain. Because of this yellow journalism, now we're at war. This is a perfect example of just how horrible this imperialistic attitude of ours is, and how much trouble it's getting us into. This snowballed out of control before anyone knew it. So how do you feel about today's episode so far?
It's been really good. I think we got a lot of good footage, and that one New Yorker we met earlier was really animated.
Yeah, he was a special case. You think he's alright? Where'd he go?
He was something else. I'm sure he's finding his way in the
I
world.
think he ran to the woods. What was that? Is he even from New York, you think?
Since when has there been woods in New York?
Should we?
That's the bigger question.
Should we call like someone in case? Hold on a second.
Wait, what's that noise?
What's that noise? Hey.
I'm Cuba, man.
Okay.
So, the Americans, right?
Yeah?
They come over to Cuba, big ships, boom, pow. My people, we think we're saved, right, from evil Spain? I'll tell you what. They come over here, we think we're citizens? We're not. We got no rights, man. Spain was bad, but America's just using us. Just using us for our resources. For our little, on the map, look at us. We're Cuba, we're part of America. No, this isn't nothing anymore. I'll tell you what, the hell with that, man.
Who is he?
I'm scared. Hold me, Doctor apostrophe Z.
Oh God. Very sudden and kind of rude interruption there. The Cubans are really against this whole imperialism thing. We're kind of...
Where are our rights?
We're kind of just replacing Spain, if you think about it. We liberated them and then put a new flag on...
Yeah, nice going with the liberation, buddy. I feel so liberated.
You think he knows Emilio? The Aguinaldo guy? Anyways, this is what we've been doing to countless countries, including like places like the Philippines. And, you know, we annexed Hawaii and all that, so... Are we doing the right thing? Is this good? I mean, we're doing our best interests here, but what about other people? That's what really matters if you think about it.
Do you want to know the worst part?
What?
That Cuban guy that's been yelling at us is just standing there. I can see him in the mirror.
Oh God.
That's creepy.
John Wayne Picnic is an American historian of 15 years. He's a professional in the fields of imperialism and manifest destiny.
Our expansion is the reason why our country is as big and great as we are. For example, with Manifest Destiny, we got central states like Wyoming. And then, following the Mexican-American War, we got places like Texas and California. So, you would want the same traveling out into the world. For example, when we took over Cuba, morally speaking, we're helping them out because they would rather be under control by the U.S. instead of a crumbling empire like Spain.
As Americans, this expansion is our best interest. We're getting countless economic opportunities into territorial control. Let's think about China for a second. China was hit the hardest by this age of imperialism by countries such as Great Britain, France, and Germany, including us. Following a war with Japan in 1895, China was a crumbling and weak nation that everyone wanted to take advantage of. Countries, like us, wanted these spheres of influence, which are regions in which we have effect over. We're not talking about this. We're talking about this. To get these spheres of influence that we so desperately craved, we instated something called the Open Door Policy, which allowed all countries equal access to the now ruined China.
China didn't like this in the slightest. They resented foreigners, and out of retaliation they formed the Fists of Righteous Harmony.
正义 factions in Quanto.
Us Westerners called them the Boxers. These Boxers formed a rebellion called the Boxers' Rebellion, which was to fight against the slow suppression of their country, killing over 300 Westerners. In response, troops were sent from around the world to suppress these rebels, ironically making China pay $333 million in damages.
Thank you, everyone, for watching tonight's episode of Dr. Jac'Z. Make sure to tune in tomorrow at 11 for episode 3. And always make sure to stay safe and stay educated.
Tonight's episode was sponsored by Dunkin' Donuts. America runs on Dunkin'. Please recycle this bag. Another case cracked by Dr. Jac'Z.
Off to go save more Americans.
In a town near you.
No, he's sometimes joking.
So fierce.
I gotta say. As Americans, it's our nature to want to expand. These new countries, or old countries, provide countless economic opportunities. And if you're a pious person, these not-so-civilized tribes of people are ripe for the picking when it comes to spreading religious beliefs. You know, you got the lines? This is a prime example of yellow journalism. The story was obviously exaggerated.
Hey! My brother Vinny was on that.
Very sudden and kind of rude interruption there. These Cubans really don't like this imperial thing, right?
Where are my rights?
As I was saying, the Cubans are opposed to this whole idea of imperialism because if you think about it, we're not doing the right thing. You come to their country and liberate them, then you just replace Spain under a different flag.
Yeah, nice going with the liberation.
You done?